Welcome back to Cryptos R Us. I'm George. We're all George. So today, let's talk about, I discovered this company sold $1 billion plus worth of Bitcoin in 3 days. Now, is this the root cause of the weakness for Bitcoin, or is it a nothing burger? Let's talk about this, and let's talk about this very big case that's going on, will be decided today in the courts. And let's talk about a few crypto projects that are doing very well, including some memes that are skyrocketing. So let's do this. Welcome, 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 guys. Excuse me, the market has just opened. Today, U.S. market not looking so good. That's okay. I don't know if that's okay or not, but there is an inverse indicator that that we can rely on that's been 100% correct, and that's Jim Cramer. Jim Cramer has just said last night that the market is ready for a pullback. So, even though today is red, the inverse Cramer is always correct. Always correct. So does that mean today's the bottom and tomorrow the markets will start skyrocketing? I don't know. Every time we laugh, we joke about inverse Cramer, and it somehow always comes true, right? So if Jim Cramer says the market is ready for a pullback, that means he himself is scared of the market sentiment and thinks that we may have topped out and we're going to go down. That's usually when you go and do the opposite and you buy a lot, because that means the inverse of what he says is going to come true. We'll see. We will see. But the bigger news of today, well, at least on CNBC, is Jamie Dimon once again being interviewed at the WEF. And he's like, I'm done talking about Bitcoin. I don't care, right? I don't think Jamie Dimon, just like Peter Schiff, will ever change their views, even though JP Morgan, they are definitely involved with Bitcoin. With crypto, Jamie Dimon says, well, he dances around. It's like, well, yeah, some of the crypto out there may have use, but I don't care about Bitcoin. I don't know anyone that's buying Bitcoin, blah, 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 blah. And goes on and on and on and on. And then while he's talking, CNBC just puts up the chart showing Bitcoin's 1 year performance versus gold's 1 year performance. Yeah, I think you could tell what is winning there. Anyways, yeah, I don't think we'll ever converse JP Morgan or Jamie Dimon of his opinion. He has just I don't know, he just likes being a Bitcoin bear at this point. Like, just there's nothing going to change his mind. Yet JP Morgan is one of the authorized banks to buy a ton of BlackRock spot ETF, their Bitcoin spot ETF, and their wealth management. You know what? Their wealth management, I believe, is run by Gary Gensler's brother. I remember seeing that before. His brother actually, I think, works for JP Morgan. Well, works in the wealth department and advises people to go buy Bitcoin. So think about that. Trapstar, I appreciate that. I did talk about Alphium yesterday. It looks promising. So, again, saying one thing, doing another behind the scenes. Yup. That is still ongoing. You're always going to have some people that will not believe no matter what. And it's unfortunate. It's okay if they don't believe. But it's unfortunate there's so many people that listen to these influential people. And then they end up not getting in and then missing out on all the gains that the rest of us get. I guess that's just how it is. All right. Outside of those news, Jim Cramer, Jamie Dimon, we have a big courtroom showdown today. Coinbase and SEC, they're going to duke it out. Coinbase, I don't know if they're going to win today and get this thing dismissed, but eventually they will. And it could be a big catalyst, again, for this year. And what is Coinbase arguing? Well, they're basically saying throw out this case. They're asking the judge to throw out this case from the SEC because SEC is overstepping, basically. And they're using old court cases against Coinbase, which we now know is outdated. A lot of the things that SEC argued against have been ruled by other courts as non-securities. Like, for example, with the Ripple case, just because you sell something on the secondary market, in the XRP case, it was XRP, does not constitute it being a security, right? Okay. And also, in that case, they state that even if you had an ICO, even if you had an initial coin offering, does not automatically make a crypto coin a security because it may have changed afterwards into a utility coin. Ripple won that too for XRP, right? So if those two arguments basically state that nothing is guaranteed to be a security, they still could, but the SEC has to prove it. They can't just automatically assume everything is a security. Well, Coinbase is going to argue that, well, then they can't just claim that we have hundreds of unregistered securities being sold on our platform. They can't argue that. They have to go and sue each and every one of them to prove that, right? Yeah, so they're, Coinbase is basically, I think it's an easy case for them. It's just a matter of what the judge thinks, right? If the judge thinks, yeah, SEC, you've been losing left and right. You have just no basis for all these claims that you're throwing out there. You have to actually prove it. You can't just declare it without proving it, right? Then this case is going to be shut down, and this is going to be a big win in the US for crypto, right? That means exchanges don't always have to be on tippy toes about everything, because right now they do. Even staking is considered a security. Native staking to help power crypto networks, that's considered a security right now too. And, Coinbase, they may be arguing against that as well. So this is a big case. SEC has been losing a lot. They lost to Ripple, obviously. They lost to Grayscale. That's how we got spot ETFs. And they're probably going to lose to Coinbase. And that's all going to be fantastic. See, this is the reason why Gary's on his way out, because he's basically been doing all the wrong things. He didn't protect consumers from the FTX collapse. That's on him. And then he started suing everyone else, trying to make up for it, and they all been bad calls, one after another, after another, after another. So we'll see how this goes. It'll be a huge win if this somehow gets all dismissed today. I don't know if that's going to happen. I'm no lawyer, but that would be absolutely huge if it happens. All right, so there's that going on, and then let's talk about who's this company that sold $1 billion to the Bitcoin. Well, we know that ETFs, right, now exist. We had 3 days of volume. That was up until yesterday. We didn't today. Obviously, the market's still open. But overall, we had about 10 billion worth of volume. Okay. Now, to put things into perspective, 10 billion in volume is huge. If you take all the ETFs launched in 2023, you times it by 3, you get $10 billion. Okay, so just the 12 or 13 Bitcoin ETFs within 3 days alone had 3x the volume of all the ETFs launched in 2023. So that's fantastic. The volume is super high, way higher than people expected. Now, that is just volume though. Okay, volume could mean buying and selling. And unfortunately, a lot of that was due to selling from one specific company, Grayscale. At the very first day, it seemed like there weren't a lot of selling from Grayscale, but now after 3 days, close to 1.2 billion of Bitcoin was sold by Grayscale. It came out. That's why it's a big, big negative right there, right? Their volume exploded. But yeah, very, very bad. Now, to make up for it, you could see that BlackRock's now has 710 million. You got Fidelity 524, and then Bitwise and everyone else. So everyone's basically, their pile is growing. And it's growing faster than Grayscale. Okay. So overall, what does this mean? Well, it means that there's two things that this could mean. Number one is a lot of selling, and it's going into the other ETFs, which makes more sense because the other ETFs have way lower fees than Grayscale. And Grayscale, they obviously knew this was going to happen. That's why they put their fee at 1.5%. Everyone else is 0.2% because they knew there's not a whole lot of people that's going to be buying Grayscale's ETF. Everyone's going to be buying BlackRock and Fidelity's and ARK's and Bitwise's ETF, right? And number two, now this also could be very possible, is that a lot of the insiders that bought GBTC Trust early on, they couldn't cash out. They couldn't cash out. It was like one big trust where only Bitcoin could go in and you couldn't cash out until someone else bought it. But the problem is not a whole lot of people bought the trust when the premium was in a negative during crypto winter. That means if you sold it, you would have lost money instantly. So now a lot of those insiders are probably cashing out because now they finally have the ability to do so, right? So yeah, that's just a mass amount. Obviously, eventually, that's going to slow down and balance out. But if you look at the assets on the right side, Grayscale still holds about $25.5 billion worth of Bitcoin. That's a lot. That's a lot. Wait, it's not 25. Yeah, it is 25. But you know, someone like BlackRock, they have about 700 million. Fidelity 523 million, and so forth, right? They're all climbing by leaps and bounds. BlackRock is already a top 10 holder of Bitcoin. Fidelity and all these guys, they're all top 15, top 20, top 50 holders of Bitcoin, right? So they are rising up in a big way. So do I think that this is the cause for the weakness for Bitcoin? Maybe a little bit, but not really. Not really, because it's obvious that the others are making up for this. The inflows is still exceeding the outflows. So I don't think this is the main reason. But, you know, it's good to pay attention to, because if that starts outpacing the inflows, then we're going to have problems. Then we're going to have problems. But that's not the case right now. Okay. But just want to share with you guys, yeah, 1.2 billion sold from Grayscale. All right, what else is there? Well, besides Grayscale, ETF, and all that stuff, right? We know that stablecoins still sky high. The market cap stablecoins still very, very high. In fact, USDT's market cap at a historical high. Okay. Now, why is this important? Well, because people are not just buying USDC for the fun of it. You're not going to USDT, I'm sorry. You're not going to make money by holding on USDT. It's not going to appreciate. It's going to stay at $1. So why is it climbing up? Well, it's climbing up because there are people, specifically whales, that's gearing up to spend it. Spend a lot of it. That's why they're converting their USD into USDT, because they want to get ready in case the parabolic bull run starts. They don't want to miss out. Okay, that's basically how you interpret that. Okay, no one is buying USDT because they're trying to profit from it. They're either taking profits or they're going to be buying by a boatload, right? So that is very, very bullish. And also, in terms of how Bitcoin is moving, despite where we are right now, actually, we're just going sideways, 42.7, right? Despite how we're moving right now, this is what it looks like when you zoom out, okay? There will be sideways movement. There will be slow movement, but there's no doubt we're getting closer and closer to the halving event. and closer and closer and closer to the parabolic phase that we're all waiting for. It happens every single cycle like clockwork. We are basically exactly at the same point as we were the last cycle before we headed up to 64,000, and the cycle before that when we headed to 20,000, and the cycle before that when we headed to 1,000. Okay, this time around, it's going to be no different. The gains are a little bit less. I mean, previously, the first cycle, we saw a 12,600% gain from the halving event. Or 3 months before the halving, I'm sorry. The second cycle, 3 months before the halving event, to the top, 4,500%. This last cycle, 3 months before the halving till the top, 1,600. Let's just round up, 1,700%. And we're 3 months away from a halving event, right? So if we're measuring from now to the top and we go just 400%, not even 1,000%, not 500%, 400%, that will put us to like 200, 250,000, right? So it's not unreasonable. When you throw out numbers like 200, 250,000, a lot of people just laugh at it. It's like, no way. There's no way we're going to go there. It's just way too high. There's not enough liquidity. It's not going to happen. But if you look at how high Bitcoin went previous times, even with the diminishing returns factored in, that's just how Bitcoin goes. That's just how it rolls. Bitcoin does not care about people's doubts. It just does what it does, right? Let's keep in mind, 3 months before the halving in 2020, okay? Remember, that was that COVID crash. Bitcoin was below $4,000. And it went from $4,000 and eventually ended at $69,000, okay? Even at that point, when Bitcoin was at 4,000, people had a hard time believing it'll even climb back to 20,000. People were like, nah, it's 4,000. It's not going to go back to 20,000. It can't even break 10,000. What are you talking about, George? And I was saying, we're going to go way higher than 20,000, guys. Way higher. I thought 100,000. We came close, but not quite there because the Fed started raising rates. But we certainly broke 20,000. This time around, we'll certainly break 70,000. We will break 100,000 this cycle. And then things will get really nutty and really fun afterwards. So just wait for it. Just wait for it. It's going to come. All right. Besides Bitcoin, let's talk a little bit about some crypto projects. Some significant moves. Today, Chainlink had a pretty big announcement. Their founder, obviously Sergey, and everyone else is bullish about Bitcoin and Bitcoin ETFs. There's no doubt about it. He even says ETFs will fuel mass institutional adoption, which is great. But Chainlink itself can bring mass institutional adoption because they just announced this, that their CCIP, which is their basically interoperable bridge that connects all these chains and dApps together, they're integrating Circle CCTP, they're so close in acronyms, which basically supports, it's a bridge for USDC. So now they're like combined. So basically, if you're a dApp maker and you're using Chainlink CCIP, you can bridge USDC from one chain to another, from one dApp to another really easily. So that's what it means. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. A lot of people are fans of Chainlink, biggest and most decentralized oracle we have. It is very, very vital for all DeFi projects. If it wasn't for Chainlink, I don't know what they would use instead. There are other oracles, but they're just so far off from Chainlink. And Chainlink, in terms of their coin Link, is vanishing from the exchanges as their non-zero wallets are nearing sky high, right? Awesome. Good for Chainlink. I think they're going to do very well this cycle. No doubt about it. They are the leaders, so they will continue to do well. Also, Injective, it stalled out recently, but they, of course, made the biggest move in 2023. I think they're still going to be one of the biggest leaders of 2024. I just don't think they're going to stop. They are going to be staking. The team itself is going to be staking 50 million injective tokens ahead of their big upgrade. So that's going to increase their overall stake percentage to close to 48%, which is obviously very good. Overall, their TVL is growing from all of their DeFi dApps, which is also very, very good. And like I said, they're going to roll out their new Volon upgrade soon, which is going to concentrate on real-world assets. They're going to upgrade their burning mechanism, which is good, and IBC, inter-blockchain connectivity, with the other chains within Cosmos. Big, big stuff. Those are all good. All good. And lastly, I just got to point out that Solana is still having a good day, but more importantly, man, their memes are hot. Bonk itself is taking a breather, but it's in the green today. There's still about 900 million, which is absolutely huge, right? But I got to point out, Dog with Hat with is up a staggering 35% today. 380 million. They have crossed this threshold, in my opinion, to reach $1 billion like Bonk. It's just a matter of time that Coinbase is going to list them. Coinbase loves Solana coins now. And after they listed Bonk, that's how they got to $1 billion. And Binance will follow. So it's gotten to a point where WIF is probably going to get to $1 billion, just throwing that out there, even though I hold zero WIF. But the other one that I do hold is Myro, which is up 46% at 160 million. They're not as big yet. They haven't crossed that threshold. Obviously, they still have massive volatility. But, I mean, man, all these Solana memes are they're just on fire. They are just on fire. That's all I could say about it. So congrats if you hold any. All right, let's do some Q&A. Lazaro, my son is 13. Yesterday, I downloaded him Trust Wallet, and he put 600. I gave him extra 400. I told him, according to Giorgio, he had 10K in 2025. Yeah, I think so. You know what I do with my kids? Like, they're a little bit younger, but what I've been doing is this, like, saying, yeah, and my oldest, it's like kind of clicking into him. I'm like, if you just take all your birthday monies or gifts, whatever money you get, you just put like half of it, into Bitcoin or crypto, right? You're gonna be a millionaire by the time you turn 18. I truly believe that, because that's like two cycles, 3 cycles. And for my oldest son, it's like really clicking. Every time he gets money, he just hands it to me. And what I do, just for fun, and entices him more, is I double what he puts in. So if he gives me like a $200, I put in $400 for him, right? So Lazaro, it's kind of like what you did. There's no doubt. There's no doubt. If you get your kids into it early enough, I mean, by the time they hit 18, they go to college or they don't, they start a business or whatever they may be doing at 18, they're going to be freaking millionaires. I truly believe that. They just have so much time on their hands, right? Like, all of us, we weren't even in crypto that long, if you think about it, but they have just so much time. There was a super chat earlier. Lucas, I'm holding 1 million Gala. Do you think Gala going to at least 20 cents in 2024? Where's Gala at? So they have to do a less than 10x. Yeah. I think it'll go back there, yeah. Is it going to go beyond that to like 70 cents? I don't know. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibilities, because, I mean, look at that skyrocket, again, towards the end of 2021. Can that happen again? Sure. It certainly can happen again. All right. Let's see. I gotta scroll here. Jerry Coins. Would you rather hold a bag of Solana or Pulse Chain? Is that even a question? Are you serious? That's like insulting just to be asked that. Lazaro, I told him the same thing. Good. What do you think about Singularity? You know, I think overall they're moving in the right direction, right? AI, it's an AI play, AI project from the creators of Sophia. But I don't hear a lot about them. You know, there's been a lot of AI plays, right? Obviously with ChatGPT, even Tesla with their Optimus robot. You hear about a lot of AI companies doing a lot of stuff. I don't hear a lot about Singularity. That's the thing. So I gotta get caught up more with what they're doing. But Sophia robot, you know, it's been around for a while, but I don't hear anything like new advancements or anything that's crazy. When Bitcoin hits 1 million, Jamie Dimon really won't want to talk about it. I'm willing to bet that Jamie Dimon holds some Bitcoin. He may. I mean, he's putting on this show because he's known as this like bearer, and he doesn't want to like look like he's capitulating. But I have no doubt him and his kids hold Bitcoin, especially his kids. Do you think BlackRock holds BTC as part of their own portfolio aside from what they hold in ETF? Yes. Yes. You know, a lot of these companies don't have to disclose. They just keep it secret. BlackRock, Larry Fink, they could have billions in their wallet already. I mean, that would not be unreasonable. It's just, that's like chump change to them. Did I order the Solana 2 phone? No. I was going to, but then someone told me that there's a 2-year wait list. So I'm like, do I really need to wait 2 years? Do I really want to wait 2 years? I'd much rather just buy the CERN phone. Diamond's daughter definitely holds Bitcoin. He made fun of her publicly for it. Yeah, you know, just like Peter Schiff's son, you know, once they get older, they're just go throw it in their parents' face. You know, it's like, yeah, I don't know. At this point, like, what can you say, right? Like, what negative thing can you say about Bitcoin? I mean, it has its own spot ETFs, for God's sake, right? Like, it is recognized as a commodity. It's a global asset class. It has outappreciated every single investment instrument and asset on the planet by a long shot. And now you have major corporations, major Wall Street, like, you know, gurus and OGs. They're all into Bitcoin and they believe in it. A lot of them believe in the decentralized aspect of it. A lot of them hate inflation. That's why they're in it. Like, I don't know what else you could say negatively about Bitcoin other than, well, what if we don't have electricity? Like, if there's an EMP, we have World War, we don't have electricity. I mean, there's much worse things to worry about than our investments then. Then we're worrying about our lives and how to survive every day. That's a little bit different. But outside of that, there's just really nothing else. George, is XRP dead? Should I sell XRP and buy Link or Sol or hold? XRP is not dead. It's just that it's non-moving. So it's not dead. But I don't know how much you hold of it, right? If you hold a small amount in your portfolio, sure, why not wait it out? it could, you know, if Coinbase wins the case against SEC, that could help XRP also indirectly. But you know, this is how XRP holders, how they felt for like 5 years, no, 7 years, because XRP since 2017 or 2018 has basically not moved. So, but yeah, I like Chainlink much better than XRP. I like Solana much better than XRP. There are so many that I like over XRP. XRP is like on my scale of 1 to 10 in terms of if I would buy it and hold it as an investment. It's closer to 1, much closer to 1 than 10. Let's just put it that way. What's FanX? Front fans? Yeah, I'm not going to be looking at that, John. Christian, I just answered your question about XRP. Neon. I think Neon is interesting for Solana. Helps bring in EVM, you know, EVM dApps to Solana. I don't know if it's going to work out because a lot of the EVM people, what they do is just go to layer 2, like Optimism or Arbitrum. And it's much easier for them to do that than try to move to Solana. So I don't know if Neon is going to work out. Yeah, they're both about even today. And Neon. I mean, if Solana gets super, super, super hot this year and a lot of dApps from Ethereum, you know, wants to move over, it could work out, but I don't know. The L2s are very strong. Does Injective have more upside than SHIB? Yes. By a long shot. By a long shot. Well, horse meat flips. Stop talking about horse meat. SHIB is not accepted at Ferrari dealerships. Bitcoin is, but my local dealership still does not take Bitcoin. I was telling my salesperson like a few months ago because I heard about Ferrari officially taking Bitcoin. He's like, yeah, I heard about it, but we have no way to take it. I'm like, you guys got to figure it out, man. Within the next 2 years, there's going to be a lot more Bitcoin millionaires, and they're going to want to buy a Ferrari with Bitcoin. So I don't know if they've implemented that yet, but yeah, a lot of you guys can just buy a Ferrari straight with your Bitcoin gains rather than needing to cash out. Yeah, I heard there's a 2-year waiting list for the new Solana phone. Avalanche is coming up. Avalanche has been struggling. It can't really hold above 40 for some reason. You know, it's a little strange, but it's okay. Still taking a breather. Injective is above 40, holding above 40. What else is doing good today? Say is doing good. Render is doing very good today, up 12%. No idea why they're up that much. Beam is doing very good, 8%. I'm a big fan of Beam. You guys know that. Talk about Beam a lot. Astar, still don't know much about it. Woo Network, not a big, you can't use in the US. Conflux, and I mean, you have some greens today. And you got a lot of greens with Solana memes. Whiff and Myro. Ooh, Myro's up 55%. Looking good. They are all-time high? Yeah, they just broke their all-time high. And Whiff is close to their all-time high. Close to it. Wait. What just happened there? No, they just broke their all-time high. That was a big jump right there. Wait, did I can't tell. Well, it was close. I don't know why it just suddenly jumped up like that. Teller. Whoa, Teller's up 35%. Teller's looking good. 400 million. They're Oracle, aren't they? Yeah. What was that about? What was like this the 8 people Zoom about? Yeah, they're Oracle. Oh, there it is. And Pith is also Oracle. But I don't know what happened with Teller specifically today. But Pith is also up 6%, 7%. It seems like today's an Oracle day because of the Chainlink news. Link is, yeah. I think they're just up because of Chainlink being up. Because this big thing with USDC. So they're just riding the coattails of Chainlink. Jerry says, what's your price prediction by end of 2024? I bought a lot of Chainlink at $7. Well, you're up majorly, so congrats. By the end of the year, I don't know, where are they at all-time high? 50? End of the year, they could be at like, they could certainly be at like 30, 25. I say 25 to 30 is very reasonable. And if you bought it at $7, you're going to make a boatload of money. That's for sure. Nutrition is life. What's up with the long forgotten ape coin? You know why it's forgotten? Because there's no traction with... The whole point of this coin is for their other side metaverse. And I don't know why it's taking so long for that to come out. I hold some freaking NFTs, other side NFTs. I'm like, are you guys ever going to release your game? When that game comes out and they utilize ape as the main currency in that game, it could do well. But until then, I don't know. But Polygon is pushing ApeCoin to go and create their own chain based on ZK EVM. I don't know if that's going to happen because right now it's still ETH based. But overall, I mean, overall there's 600 million, but they were $24 before. Got to do like almost like a 15x to get back to previous high. Do you think we might look back next year and realize we would have been better off without ETS being improved? I don't know. Why do you always ask such bearish questions, Fud Master? I guess based on a name, it makes sense. I don't think so, but there's always a possibility. Goody asks, what do you think about this portfolio doing a 10x by 2025? By 2025, you got BTC, Chainlink, ETH, Graph, XRP. Probably the only thing that won't do a 10x in that portfolio is XRP. Graph will probably do it. ETH, 10x, maybe not there. BTC, 10x, maybe not there. Based on that, you're probably not going to see 10x by 2025. I would guess probably like a 6x based on that. 5 or 6x. No, let's just do 5x. I think it's going to be more like 5x based on what you're holding. Call me a boomer, but not touching NFTs or memes. That's fine. Just like Bitcoin maxis will say, call me a boomer, I'm not touching alts. It's the same thing. You could stick with just Bitcoin, or you could just stick with alts. But memes are alts. NFTs I get. You know, it's like, do I really want to hold on an NFT? You know, I get how that could seem a little weird, but it's the same thing. It's like holding on to alt in your wallet. Is Bonk dead? No. Solana announced a new Genesis phone. Man, so many people are asking about Saga too. This is like a 2-year wait list. So I don't know how I know that, but you know, if you want, yeah, it's $450. Closing soon. I mean, the only reason why people want this phone is because of the airdrops, right? And I don't know if the airdrops on the second phone is going to be as good as the first phone. So I don't know. It'll probably be good because to pay for $450 worth, you know, in terms of airdrop should be relatively easy. But you know what phone I really love is the Siren phone.
What do you think about Ripple?
Well, I mean, I think it's too centralized, but I definitely want to meet Chris Larson.
Now that phone is fantastic. Can cake reach $50 next bull run? Previous high was 40. Yeah, the previous high was 40, Stan. Then yeah, it's going to surpass it this time for sure. Envy, thoughts on Polkadot? Neutral on Polkadot. I just don't hear enough about them to be excited. Can Say do a 20x? Yeah, they can. Yeah, they can. I think so. I'm trying to invite them to some of the events and conferences I'm holding this year. I'm waiting for Bitcoin to get a little bit higher before I announce everything. And then I'm going to have some new NFTs as well for this year. A lot of good stuff. Man, look at Say just kind of like skyrocketing right now. Andrew, does it come with a Trillion XRP? I don't know. I placed a deposit, plus I had to buy a phone every 2 to 3 years. That is true. I'm probably go buy it, to be honest, just so I can be on the wait list and get it in 2025. That's the most bullish year anyways, right? So you're probably going to make that money back, no doubt about it. I would just buy like 10 of them, you know, and then the Saga ones are selling for like $1,500 or $2,000, $3,000 on eBay. So you could probably make a good profit from it. Man, these Solana memes. Monk is not going up right now, but Whiff and Myro are both skyrocketing right now. I wish Cock would skyrocket. Cock is not skyrocketing. Sneck is up a little bit. Sneck lost a lot of momentum. I need to average a 5x on my ETH XRP link render in 2024 retire. Odds of happening. On all of them, yes, except XRP. XRP may only do like a 2x or 3x, but ETH 5x, yeah, renders, yeah, I think so, and Link can do it. I think all of them could do a 5x except XRP. Dalton asking about Viper. Man, Viper, is not going to do well if, I don't think that's it, but Viper, there's no meme that would do well on Cardano if SNEC doesn't do well. It's pretty obvious. SNEC is the biggest meme and gets the most volume on Cardano by a long shot. And if SNEC is not pumping to 1 billion, no other meme on Cardano is going to be doing well. It's really that simple. You need someone to set an example. Why do you think WIF and Myro are doing well? It's because Bonk did well first and went up to 1 billion, right? Why do you think Pepe did well before? It's because you had Sheeb that led the way to go above 1 billion and beyond. For these other new memes, you need a leader that does it first and then it proves the case that it can be done on that chain. Then others can follow, right? So if you're like trying to support Viper on Cardano, if SNEC is not doing well, Viper will never do well. It's really that simple. You need SNEC to hit 1 billion, and then everything else on Cardano will start pumping to the moon. It's really that simple. Does Cardano have any potential? It does, but you know, here's the thing. Well, what's tap tools? If you sort by volume here, well, SNEC was #1. Now they're like #4, but Friend is also a meme that's gone down a lot. I mean, if you look at like everything that's on Cardano, it's the memes that are actually leading the way. It's not it's not like any of the dApps. Like IAG, I've heard of them. They're like a decentralized cloud, but they're not doing that well. And all the other ones are not doing very well either. Not even AGIX, Singularity. I mean, their volume is actually quite low. Lower than even SNEC. So how does that make sense, you know? Until you get some awesome dApps that is generating a ton of volume and liquidity, you know, Cardano's not going to be at the same level as other L1s. Why do I like Finiphone? I just like to play that educational video about XRP. I'm just kidding. If you didn't know, you have to be an OG to know. CERN Labs was a big scam project, and they went under. But when they first introduced that Finiphone, they like, it was during the ICO craze. They made like $150 million during the ICO, and I was making fun of them for it. And then it turned out that the founders scammed everyone, and he like bought a soccer team and spent all the ICO funds on extravagant mansions and stuff. And I think he got arrested and got thrown in jail. But that was one of the commercials they put out, and I just stuck with it because it's really educational about XRP. A lot of influencers, including Ben Armstrong, are calling for $12 to $15 XRP. Why so bearish? I mean, just look at the graph, man. Just look at how they've been moving. They're one of the only coins that did not pass their previous high from 2017 or 2018, I should say. They hit $3 in 2018. In 2021, they only hit like 175, like half. So are they really going to do a 15x and 20x now and shoot up? I mean, based on history, the answer is no. Can it happen? Sure. But a lot of insiders now are preparing for Ripple's IPO. Ripple's going to go IPO. And so a lot of those big insiders, the VCs, and people that really want to profit from Ripple, I think they're going to be buying the stock rather than the token or the coin. Do you think Arbitrum could do 20x? Sure. I think they can. I mean, honestly, like Arbitrum, 10 to 20x is somewhere in between. By 2025, 10 to 20x If the market is really, really hot, 20x, no problem. If the market is not so hot and it's still hot, 10x, right? So somewhere between 10 to 20x. If XRP never had its run with the SEC, where do you think XRP would be today? Probably the same. Think about this. XRP already, okay, there was 3 major lawsuits, right, from the SEC. They won 2 of them. There's still one left. The last one really has nothing to do with XRP. XRP is now declared a non-security, which means XRP ETFs could come out too. It's a non-security. That's a huge one. That's a huge one. And if they still didn't pump, according to SEC, they're like one of 3 coins that are considered a commodity, right? And they still didn't pump. The other one was Chris Larson and Brad Garlinghouse. They were sued for selling unregistered securities. Well, because XRP is not a security, those charges got dropped, right? So the last one is against Ripple, and it's something to do with their ICO, right? And they have to pay a fine for it. That's fine. But that has nothing to do with XRP. XRP Ledger are supposed to be decentralized, not a Ripple product. Ripple is just supporting XRP. So even if that lawsuit gets dismissed or they pay a fine, that's it. XRP, the most important one was XRP is a security, and that was dismissed, right? And even with that dismissed, XRP is not going up. There's that's telling you something, that not a whole lot of whales want to buy XRP. So I mean, just that's how I see it. That's how I see it. XRP, Ripple's model will always be sell XRP to companies that want to use it to bridge currencies from one country to another, right? Their model is to sell XRP. They unlock billions per quarter to sell to companies. There will always be an inflation rate for XRP, even though it has a set supply, but Ripple holds like 50% of the XRP in existence, and they will continue to sell it over time because that's how they make money. That's why they want to do an IPO so badly, so they don't have to dump all that XRP out there on the market. ETH getting to 10K seems unlikely now. No, it'll still do it. ETH will get 10K. ETH will break 10K. I think ETH will end up between like 12 and 15K by the end of 2025. I think that's going to happen. I don't think they're going to do a 10X. I don't think we're going to see 25K ETH by the end of 2025. I just don't see that. But can it do like, you know, a 5X from here? Yeah, like 12,000, 13,000. I could see that. That can happen. Where do you see Cornucopias going in 2024, 2025? I mean, I hope it does well because Cardano, like I said, needs some real dApps with some real volume and real liquidity to kind of prop it up. Cardano itself right now, I mean, the good thing going for it is it's very high number of ADA staked, and people love Charles. So 2 reasons, right? But in terms of dApps, very lackluster right now. The Seeking Truth. I just talked about Clayton last night, man. Go check out my video from last night. Do you think AVAX can pass up Solana? There's always a chance, but at this point in time, no. But it doesn't mean that it can't be back-to-back. It could be like, you know, eventually Solana is going to be at number 2 or 3, but I think it's going to be 2. And then Avalanche could be like at 3 or 4. Well, top 200 coins, the good ones do a 10 to 30x in 2024 and 2025. It's more like mid to late 2025, they will do it. I mean, if you look at every single of these projects, I like to use Shiba's example. I mean, look at how fast they climbed, right? In 2021. That was only within a month and a half. It did a how many X in a month and a half? More than a 10X. That's going to happen in 2025. In mid to end of 2025, you're going to see a lot of these coins, ones that are even undeserving, that will do a 10X in a month. Okay, that's just how it is. When it happens, that's when you know the top is near. When you start seeing everything go up 10X like in a month, that's when you know, okay, I need to sell a lot. Make sure I have that cash pile ready because we may be at the top bubble, right? Every single cycle we see kind of the same thing. In 2017, 2018, we saw that too. The first 2 weeks of 2018, everything shot up. Cardano shot up, Tron shot up, BNB shot up, and then 2021, all the new ones like Solana shot up, Avalanche shot up, Sheep shot up. And this cycle, we're going to see the same thing. All right, guys. To conclude, inverse Cramer. Hopefully, inverse Cramer will be right once again. If Cramer is saying the market's ready for a pullback, that means it's ready to pump. And Bitcoin is ready to pump. Just got to be patient. Let the gains come to you. But today, you got Chainlink with their big announcement. They're doing good. Injective still doing good. A lot of memes doing good. And overall, stay strong, my friends. I'll see you guys tonight. 8:30 p.m. 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right. Have a good one. Take care.